Welcome, everybody. It's a beautiful June 17th, 2019. I'm your host, Krusty Canuck, and coming up on today's podcast is the exceptional Raptors victory with a dash of violence today. Gun crimes are on the rise in Brampton, and of course, our beloved Prime Minister's drink box thingy logical statement thing. All that and more coming up on Krusty Canuck. Stay tuned. Greetings, folks. I'm your host, Krusty Canuck. Beautiful June 17th, 2019. And as mentioned in today's episode, we'll be discussing the Raptor victory and, of course, a little bit of violence that happened later on today. Gun crimes on the rise, and, of course, the PM's drink box thingy. Oh, my God, where do I begin? Anyhow, let's start with the Raptors. Good for them. You know, I'm not a big fan of basketball, nor am I a big fan of the NBA in general, but it's good to see that a Canadian team, regardless of how many Canadians are on the squad or not, kicked ass and took some names in the NBA final. Well done, Raptors. Well done to the Raptors fans for showing your support. But I've got to question something here. In regards to national unity, you know, it's nice to see a Canadian team kick ass, take names. God, I remember the excitement in 1992 when the Toronto Blue Jays won the first World Series. Wow, what a feeling that was. You know, I remember people honking their horns, waving the flag, waving the Jays flag, waving the Canadian flag, you know, drinks everywhere. Just a real good time, you know? How else do you explain it? And the same feeling a year later in 93 when they won their second pennant. You know, well done, you know? But what I really don't like about it is the fact that how politicians weigh on it and say, oh, what a way to unify the country. Hey, bozos, that's supposed to be your fucking job. That's supposed to be up to you ladies and men out there to get out there and unify the country without worrying about a sports team to do it for you. Okay? That's just my take on it. You know, it's good to see that there was a lot of unison. There was a lot of people in Nathan Phillips Square and around Toronto area, you know, getting in the mood, celebrating, but as a fellow broadcaster says, you know, there's other people out there working, trying to get ahead. You know, it's good that there's a victory parade. There's good that there's a hell of a lot of unity out there, but we shouldn't have to rely on a basketball team or a baseball team or a hockey team to do that for us. You know what I mean? It's good. It's good that people out there waving the flag and celebrating Canada and we the North. You know, that's such a cool phrase at times. But like these guys worked their asses off, made the championship, made history, you know, and well on them. But for our leadership, I don't care if you're the Mayor of Toronto or Premier of Ontario or the Prime Minister of Canada. You know, you want to unify the country, then you've got to use your own intestinal fortitude to do it and not ride the backs of a team. Right? That's just me. I'm in a way, I'm happy that Toronto got their championship. And I'm more happy that we're seeing more and more unison towards our favorite teams and some of our new sports heroes out there. But let's start taking a look at the working class Canadian. Let's start taking a look at the people that put food on their table and keep their kids fed and clothed. You know, and that's everybody from all walks of life. Everybody who's made a difference here. You want to unify the country? Let's start appointing some good leaders out there. Let's start appointing some people that really give a shit about the welfare of this nation and not just the welfare of their paycheck and their riding or their party policies, right? As I mentioned in the title, there was some violence there too, according to some reports, Canadian press. I will put the link up after my broadcast here on my description page, but apparently 4 people were shot. Go figure, hey? Celebrating a team's victory, and 4 people ended up getting shot. Now, as a gun owner and as a believer in firearms rights for all responsible Canadians out there, people that actually give a shit about what they do, you know, To me, it's just going to add more fuel to the liberal fire of trying to ban things. First they try to take our fucking straws, plastic forks, and it's really rich coming from some of those clowns that jet set around the world and have their suits and their outfits tailor-made for them. And yet they're telling me, oh, I can't have a straw, or I can't use a plastic fork. Yeah, fuck you too. Excuse me. But, I don't know. You tell me. You can reach me at crustybcanuck67@gmail.com, or find me on my Facebook page under Krusty Canuck. Or you can reach me here via the comments section on Podbean, krustycanuck.podbean.com. And tell me what you think. Really. A lot of these clowns are sitting there riding the coattails of other people's victories to get ahead, to promote this fucking agenda. And we just can't celebrate a basketball team without saying, well done, boys and girls. We got to turn everything into a frickin' joke. Sorry, I had some technical issues there. I don't know how happened. A bit of a glitch in the system. Anyhow, we just can't celebrate this team and say, yeah, well done, ladies and gentlemen. Got to turn it into a political frickin' nightmare. So I'll post a link to the violence that happened in Nathan Phillips Square there in Toronto. Apparently 4 people were shot, and they apprehended some individuals, but there's no names or anything that I have seen just of yet. Here we go again with the gun issue. If you want to thwart gun crime in this country, then you thwart the criminals. Okay? Regardless of what celebration is going on or not, it doesn't justify any kind of ritual killing. Right? You thwart the criminals. Where did this individual get said gun? Where did he or she find said pistol? And then you break it down. I know a few cops who can investigate situations like that, so you can't BS me on, guns are everywhere. Oh my God. It's a matter of investigation. It's a matter of manpower getting out there and finding the culprits responsible, right? So it's the same logic that wants to ban straws and wants to ban guns in this country. Well, good luck with that. Whether us gun owners will be grandfathered or not, up-and-coming individuals that have trained and understand rifle and pistol safety, who have taken all the steps in the training, you're making it harder for them too. And as a responsible gun owner, I am not a criminal. The only thing I'm guilty of is speaking my mind, and yet we got powers that be in this country that want to make that a crime too, because they believe in the new groupthink and the new newspeak, right? What to say, when to say it. As I mentioned in my last episode about political correctness and other BS, right? Don't speak your mind. Ladies and gentlemen, someone might be offended. Oh, my God. Well, more and more of us have to start speaking our mind. Really, more and more of us have to get out there and start saying no to things. You want unity in this country? Let's get out there. Fight the good fight. Let's get rid of some of the clowns calling the shots with uneducated facts and using uneducated answers. Let's start electing people that care. That way, one of our sports teams has a great victory, then no one's compelled to be shot, or no one's going to attempt to shoot anybody. Right? It's obvious. Someone pulls a gun out in a crowd of people. Do you honestly think that he is a legitimate gun owner? Really? Do you think he's been screened properly? And then the whole vetting and the licensing procedure? Do you honestly think that said individual, whether it be male or female, doesn't matter what ethnicity they are, doesn't matter where they come from, they took the action to shoot at somebody? Now, I have shot at people in my career. I know what it feels like. I know what goes into it. So, when gun crimes happen in this country, you and I both know it's someone who's attained a gun illegally, acquired it illegally. Okay? And I'll be posting an article in the description of what happens in Brampton, too. Apparently gun crime is on the rise there. A few individuals acquiring said firearm without any kind of license. It'll say so in the article I just read there. Just to post it on here. I'm getting tired of this crap, people. To my listeners out there, whether YouTube or Podbean, we all know better. We all know that not every gun owner is a criminal. We're not criminals. I own a few rifles, a few pistols, and I've trained soldiers on them. I have made sure that soldiers met the standard when it came to weapon handling, right? But you get some of these bigwigs here who are in the anti-gun lobby who are saying, oh, no, we can't have this and can't have that because of an experience they had in 1989 or an experience they had in 1992 or whatever year. And they're telling me that I can't have something because they're scared. Well, I'm not responsible for what some shithead did. And neither am I other gun owner friends or hunters or ex-soldiers or fellow veterans. Okay? We're guilty of liking guns. Ooh, terrible. Oh my goodness, the inhumanity. Oh my goodness. Yeah, whatever, kids, come on. To my listeners out there, you know better. You know, whether you agree with the guns or not, that's fine. But I like to assume that we're all level-headed, that I don't care for guns, but I don't care if you have one. You know what I mean? The classical liberal attitude, where, you're not hurting me, you're not affecting my lifestyle, you're not threatening my security, so why should I care what you do with your time and your space and your property? Okay? Simple logic. Simple fucking logic. Pardon my swearing, but I'm a little annoyed with some of these articles and the logic that goes into trying to promote this whole anti-gun kumbaya BS. Right? It's a matter of just letting people do what they want to do. Right? Sure, we get licenses to drive our cars. You get licenses to fish. You have to get licenses to hunt. You need a license to get a ham radio. Well, if I had my own radio station, probably I'd get a license for that too. But hey, them's the breaks, right? Well, it gets really stupid when the state has to step in all the time and tell you what to do. Unfortunately, up here in Canada, ladies and gentlemen, in the great white north, and to my American listeners out there, more and more people are getting appointed to dictate what has to be said and what has to be thought of. The whole gun debacle, oh my goodness, guns is such a crime in this country. Yeah, when people willingly break the law, it does become a crime. But the gun owners I know, we don't break the laws. We follow the law. We did the work to get our little cards. You have to have a card to acquire a firearm from any store. Right? Do you think these clowns in Brampton and Nathan Phillips Square, they have their PAL card on them? Really? No, I haven't seen any article yet. No, I haven't seen any news article yet that stated that someone was arrested for gun violence and they had their PAL on them. Right? I know, you tell me. KrustyBCanuck67 at Gmail, or you can reach me through Podbean under Krusty Canuck and on Facebook, Krusty Canuck. Tell me what you think, folks. And while you're doing that, please consider donating to my Patreon page here at Podbean. Give anything you can. 30% of every donation and every sale from my Teespring line will go to the Calgary Veterans Food Bank. That is correct. 30% of every donation and every sale will go to the Calgary Veterans Food Bank, just to help vets out in time of need. Right? Or you could donate anywhere from $5 or $10 a month, and with that subscription, you get yourself unlimited access to my podcast, and plus I will mail you a t-shirt of your choice from teespring.com Krusty Canuck merchandise. So pick a shirt, donate $5 to $10, and I will mail you a t-shirt, no charge. Okay? If you guarantee a subscription, I'll give you a shirt. $3 to $5, I'll get you a mug. It's all at teespring.com. So, carrying on from the Raptors' victory to gun crimes on the rise in Brampton. Now, according to, I believe, I just got the link here, it is on, yes, InsideHalton.com. I'll show you this link at the end of the broadcast here. But apparently, 2 men and a woman were charged with a number of firearm-related offenses following a traffic stop in Mississauga on Sunday, June 9th. At 1:30 p.m., Peel Region Police officers investigated a vehicle in the area of Derry Road East and Rexwood Road. Marijuana was found readily available to the driver. It's legal to have weed now, but you can't be smoking and driving at the same time. While crack, cocaine, and OxyContin were also located through the search conducted under the Cannabis Control Act. A loaded firearm was also found. So, a young man by the name of Mr. Abel, 28 years old, Shanice Francis, 27 years old, from Brampton, and Jermaine Douglas, 28-year-old man from Mississauga, Face charges possession of a firearm knowing not the holder of a license, possession of a loaded prohibited firearm without license, occupant motor vehicle with knowledge of firearm, and possession of ammunition knowing its possession is unauthorized. So basically they had an illegal gun, ladies and gentlemen. Sum it all up. An illegal gun, right? Prohibited. That speaks for itself, right? So I'll leave this link here. You decide. But, I don't care if you're a young man or young woman in your 20s, 30s, or 40s, or even if you're a teenager. You have a responsibility as a gun owner to know which is legal in this country and which is not, right? So these people, they didn't have a clue. So they were criminals, basically making us gun owners look really bad, right? So what else do you say? Stupidity at its finest, right? Just like I used to say in my other videos, crack don't smoke itself, ladies and gentlemen. It's a goddamn proven point. So I don't know what to say. I just, for all my legal gun owners out there, all the legal friends of mine, it just sounds stupid. Now, all my friends out there who are legally qualified to possess a firearm. Does that sound better? There you go. Keep on trucking, guys and gals. To all my friends at the CCRF, and the NFA, well done. Let's keep fighting the good fight, but this crap has got to stop. It's just like every time we turn around, there's always some kind of gun crime. The media is on hoopla. Well, of course, they did get $600 million from JT and Mr. Wonderful media photo op guy. So, of course, they're going to promote the narrative that guns are bad. Oh, yes, guns are bad and we can't have them anymore. Right? Wrong. Guns are tools, folks. Yes, they can be used as weapons, but so can a pen, so can a pencil, so can a shovel, so can a hammer, so can a saw if you throw it at the right person, right? A baseball bat, hockey stick, they can be used as weapons too, right? But you're not going to put a hockey stick in the mind of a madman, are you? Right? And if a criminal happens to acquire a firearm, 99.9% of the time, I'm pretty sure he or she acquired said firearm through other means than the way we do it. Right? It's common sense, folks. Don't buy the narrative. Don't buy the hype. Really, do yourself a favor and don't buy the hype. Honestly, don't think that, a few criminals. I really don't think criminals should get away with it. I think they should pay their dues and pay their time for it. But also as a libertarian, it's like you do the crime, you do the time, period. Right? You want to screw up someone's personal security, then you should go to jail for it. That's just me. Anyway, again, tell me what you think. Krusty B. Canuck at 67, or correction, KrustyBCanuck67 at gmail.com or KrustyCanuck.ca, my webpage, or you can find me on Facebook, Krusty Canuck. Tell me what you think. It gets tiresome after a while when you see all these good people who acquire firearms legally and follow the rules to the T and getting chastised because of a few thugs in Brampton or Mississauga or Toronto causing shit. It's that whole corporal punishment mentality. Little bitty swears in class, well, let's punish the whole class. Well, no, it doesn't work that way. Right. Anyway, moving on. Enough of this gun stuff. I'm getting all ornery. But Prime Minister Trudeau and his drink box thingy went about using plastics. I'm not going to post a link. We've all seen it. All my Facebook followers and my Podbean followers, we've all seen the crap coming out of his mouth. Paper bottle drink box thing, sort of thing, whatever he said. Like, just ridiculous. Like, does the man not have any frickin' capacity? He's trying to promote something here. And can he not come up with any kind of big words himself? Like, do his handlers... we'll say his handlers. Because personally, I don't think the man's got any goddamn integrity. He is nothing like his old man. And not that I want anything like his old man to return to this country, but he's not as intelligent. Now, regardless how much you hate the Trudeaus, I can't stand them. But you got to admit, Pierre had some smarts to him. Right? You got to admit, he did. He did have some smarts to him. Mind you, he didn't use those smarts to the benefit of the country. Anyway, he was intelligent. He was intelligent. He was an intelligent human being, regardless of how you felt about him or not. I don't like the Trudeaus. I think they're a waste of time. I think they're a waste of taxpayers' money, and they're full of shit. But you're going to hand it to Pierre. He was intelligent to a degree. His son, however, well, I guess he fell from the tree and hit the ugly branches a few times, and he should have been called Forrest as far as I'm concerned. But needless to say, this whole drink box thinging fiasco, whatever. Like, he was voted in, ladies and gentlemen. And I hate to see it come October if he gets voted in again with whatever his mudslinging is. Him, this whole party calling every conservative a racist, right? I have some conservative values, but I'm not racist, folks. You know that. My listeners out there, I'm not a racist. My best friend, he knows I'm not a racist, right? He's First Nations. I've been friends with him since I was 17, so if I was a racist or a Nazi, would I be hanging out with him? Would him and I be talking about music and art and culture? No, I don't think so. So to all the people out there that listen to this and just assume I'm a racist or a white nationalist, I guess again, just because I happen to be a white person doesn't make me a racist, right? If you're the kind of person that has to point out every white person in a room, then I wonder who the racist is. Ask yourself that question next time you point fingers and worry about who's white and who's black. Maybe you should worry about who's adult and who isn't, who acts like a man and a woman compared to who acts like a bunch of school kids, a bunch of children, right? I'll say again, folks, I wasn't raised in a household where we judge on color. We judge on actions, period, and how people's characters work. How you are as an adult, whether you're a man or a woman or whatever you identify with. Anyhow. But no, I was not raised in that kind of household. And I promote that to the best of my ability. So, to all my hate mail that I've received recently, no, I'm not a Nazi. No, I'm not a bigot. I love my country. And if that's a crime, then, well, you know where the door is. Really. You don't like where you live? Then move. You don't like the way things are? Well, then, hey, do something about it. I'm speaking out against it. But I fought for this nation, and I'm going to keep on fighting for it. So you don't have to listen to this broadcast. You don't have to watch my videos. No one's forcing you to subscribe or like any of my work, right? But if you got a witty comeback, by all means, give me one. Don't wave the flag of socialism or communism or anything like that, because I just won't buy it. I don't buy it. I studied communism in school, and let me tell you something, folks. It ain't pretty. So for you kids out there that want to wave this flag about socialism and how corrupt capitalism is and all that other good stuff and blaming Whitey for this and blaming Whitey for that, take a long look at yourself. Really. You want to sit there and scream that this is stolen land? Well, you're partially right. A lot of North America was stolen land. So are parts of Europe. So are parts of Africa. So are parts of Asia. Every empire that has come and gone has stolen, bought, and sold land one way or the other. Bought and stolen people and sold them one way or the other. So if you want to live in a country like this where you can express yourself freely, by all means. I like to think that we can still express ourselves freely, even though there have been cases of people being chastised for speaking their mind and speaking out against status quo. But if you're going to say this country sucks, but then you're getting student loans and you're getting payments for your education, then maybe you should look at the kind of person you are. You're basically biting the hand that feeds you. And where do you think that student loan money comes from, kids? It doesn't come just from the government kitty. Where do you think the government gets it? It comes from the Canadian taxpayer. It doesn't matter if you live in Ontario, Quebec, Newfoundland, New Brunswick, Nunavut, Alberta, BC. It doesn't matter. Student loans come from the Canadian taxpayer, provincial taxpayer, municipal taxpayer, taxpayers in general. So the next time you want to disenfranchise the flag and disenfranchise Canada, you just think about where your money's coming from and what you're paying for, right? You think about that. I'm not responsible for what happened to the First Nations in the 1860s. I'm ashamed of that part of our history, yes, but I acknowledge it. I don't deny it happened. And that's very shameful. There are a lot of things that our country and our government has done that have been shameful. Here's an example. Putting kids in coal mines in the early 1900s. That was shameful. All kids, all shapes and sizes. Didn't matter what color they were. Didn't matter what gender they were. Put in coal mines to work for nothing. Right? Mentally challenged people being locked in asylums, being made sterile. Right? Because the powers that be at the time thought that, well, if we sterilize these people, we wouldn't have a wave of any kind of mental illness. Wrong. Right? People used to think that was right. That changed pretty quickly too. Right? Residential schooling. For the longest time, people thought that was right. Is it? That's shameful too. You know? And to my First Nation listeners out there, you know I had nothing to do with that. Right? You know my friends had nothing to do with that. I've got nothing but respect for you folk. I do. Right? The history, the lessons, the music, the spirituality, fantastic. Right? The approach to things, different perspectives. It's fantastic. But we're all people here, you're all human beings. I'm not responsible for what happened in the 1860s, and the 1920s, and the 1930s or 40s, or the 1960s. I'm not responsible just because of the color of my skin. Right? If you're a good person, that's what matters, folks. Doesn't matter what gender, what sex you practice, what you do in your bedroom. I could care less. How are you as a person? How are you as an adult? How do you treat others? That's what matters. So, to sum up today's podcast, congratulations one more time to Toronto Raptors. Good work. My apologies to the people out there who have experienced the ridiculous violence that happened in Phillips Square. And to my gun owner listeners out there, let's just keep on trucking, ladies and gents. Nothing wrong with having a gun in this country. And to my dedicated followers on YouTube and Podbean, thank you once again very much for the subscription. I know they're coming back up again, which is nice. Thank you. But please consider donating if you can. All right. You can find all the description information, my YouTube videos, and here on Podbean. So without further ado, thank you once again for your time, ladies and gentlemen. And take care of yourselves, look after each other, and remember, humanity and merit wins the day. Take care. We'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.